Hello, my Teaserking family. How is everybody today? Hope you enjoyed yesterday. My free pick lost, and that was about it. And everything else won until I got to Buffalo, Miami. I can't believe that game didn't go over. They're marching up and down the field. I swear, I thought Earl Morrall was the quarterback for Buffalo. He threw two of the worst interceptions I've ever. I mean, there was nobody there, and then he fumbled. I thought the game was 100% fixed for the under. Buffalo did cover, but it was nowhere. The over never. I had the over. How that game didn't go over 42, and it ended 21-14. And the guy throws two interceptions to nobody and the fumble. Miami looked like shit. And Buffalo started running the ball. So it was really a bizarre game. That was the only loser with the Chicago one. Let's quickly go through that. I got Cincinnati -1 because I don't like Driscoll, the quarterback for Cleveland. I go, that's ridiculous. And Jamar Chase was playing, so you knew Cincinnati wanted to win. Detroit Mini, I have the game over, a lock, over 45, so it's over 39. Or 46 for 40, and it's 30-20. It's a 50-point game. The Lions are a beautiful over team, good offense, no defense. They win 30-20. Chicago, Green Bay, not sure what happened here. Have the over, as you know, not really a problem with weather. The Bears are going to win. They didn't show up. Fields looked like Fields. This is the problem with these quarterbacks. They'll run around. Most of their plays are running plays, not quarterback plays. So for him to not score a touchdown in this game is ridiculous. How it was 17-9. I kept waiting for Chicago. Fields looked like shit. See, this is the point. The Ohio State quarterback coming in again, doing nothing, looking like crap. So Green Bay wins 17-9, and come on, Green Bay doesn't have a good defense. They got a 24 defense. Jacksonville, Tennessee, we have Tennessee to win, and they win 28-20. I had them 20-13. I was really good on my scores. I had Detroit 31-23. They won 30-20. I did have the Bears 28-24. They lose 17-9. I have Tennessee winning 20-13. They win 28-20. Houston won 23-19. We took the dog in Indy there. I got Oakland 13-7. They win 27-14 and stay under. I had the under in the game. That was a lock. Buffalo, Miami. I got Buffalo 37-24. They win 21-14. That was a lock also over, unfortunately. Still couldn't believe Miami, with all the injuries, and Buffalo couldn't take advantage of them. And Allen was definitely looked like he was paid off to keep the score low because he scored when it was 14-all. He goes 21-14. That's still a 35. And then Miami never did anything. Tagliavua, is he terrible? Wow. See, they'll have good games against weak teams like you did in college, but when you start playing these good teams, he never shows up. You can never bet Miami in a big game. You can't bet Tagliavua. I got New England 24-10, and the Jets win 17-3. I bet it over. Really, the weather wasn't too bad. There was very light snow. The Jets scored 17. Where the fuck was Zappe? 3 points? Bye, Belichick. Yeah, you're Belichick. You're the greatest coach ever. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sure you are. He doesn't care. He should have been fired a while ago. As soon as Brady left, you could see he didn't know what he was doing. Even the fact he wanted to trade Brady, he should have been fired for that. You can't replace Brady. This is pure and simple. So 17-3, the JETSs. Atlanta, New Orleans. I got 2017 New Orleans. They went 48-17, so I hit the 17 part. I do have the game over. I don't play it because I'm waiting for Kamara to play, who doesn't. Olavi looked good. New Orleans looked good, but too little, too late, as they're not in the playoffs. They were very inconsistent for what the talent they had. Philly and the Giants, we can't trust Philly, so we bet the game over and we sneak in. Because the over was only 41, all I had to do was go over 35. I had 34-30, so I have the Giants scoring 30. They scored 27. What happened to Philly? They just quit. He didn't even have Hurts in the game. He brings in Mariota. He gives up. He doesn't try. Yeah, they're one and done. Who are they going to beat in the playoffs? Jesus, 27-10. That was a lock over, and I got it with the field goal late, but I got it. Seattle, Arizona. I got Seattle winning 31-28. They win 21-20. I have that game over 41. It hits 41, so it's a tie. Which is surprising with the 28 and the 27 defense. Really, Seattle scored late, got the 2-pointer to win it 21-20. They miss out on the playoffs. Again, strange coaching where they lose some games you just can't. You scratch your head at. KC San Diego, I got KC 13-10. KC wins 13-12. And I have it a couple times in the under 42. Without Mahomes, it was a pretty obvious under game. As was the Oakland-Denver game. I had that one 13-7. It was 27-14 Oakland. But again, O'Connell and Stidham, that was another strong under game, and it got there. Yeah, so San Francisco, I have the Rams 17-16, and they win 21-20. I had a couple of big bets under in the game, 46-47, and they stay under 21-20. I felt that was good, and then when they got to the end, I go, well, they'll kick a field goal, and if the 49ers do it, but Darnold's so bad. And what the fuck was Carson Wentz doing? He wasn't quartering. He was running. He had 16 rushing attempts. Are you kidding me? Wow. What a terrible quarterback. Dallas, Washington. I give you Dallas 34-7. They win 38-10. Big play. Dallas -7. And I even went under 53. So I hit both of them. More like Dallas -7. Again, Washington was 15-1 against in a teaser. Dallas needs the game. Washington's got a 34 defense. This is where everything falls into place. Weak defense, terrible against the number. Dallas needs the game for the 2 seed. And Dallas, I would have loved if they lost and then Philly doesn't even try. At the time, at the first half, it was like 10. It was like, I think it was 21-10 Dallas. It was hardly over when Philly pulled their guy. But what he misses is you can't just turn it on. Philly's going to lose the first round. We'll get into that in a minute. Tampa Bay, Carolina. I have Tampa Bay 20-0. They win 9-0. I don't know how bad Baker is, but that's very uninspiring. Young, did he throw for 100 yards? I mean, this guy's terrible. Tampa Bay is not a good team, and they don't have a good defense. To get shut out just shows you how bad this young guy is. So 9-0 Tampa, but we have Tampa +2. It's a W. And then Pitt, Baltimore, we had the under 40 in the game, 17-10. So really like 11-2. The only loser really is that Green Bay, Chicago game and the Buffalo, Miami, who went up and down the field in the first half and watched Josh Allen play Earl Morrall and throw 2 interceptions that were not even close. They weren't even close to reality. I mean, the guy, there was nobody there, and then his fumble. So 3 times they drive down and 3 times his turnovers. And I needed one more touchdown, and I win. I have 42. It's 21-14. Miami doesn't show up. I mean, I don't know why anybody thinks Miami is good. They're terrible. All right. So that's what we had. Very good day. I was very clever on the Oakland and the KC under and the Frisco under. It's like if you're going to take the quarterbacks out, then let's bet it under. And I think they all was there a surprise? Cincy 27-3, but not really because Driscoll was there. Detroit played, and Mullins threw for 400 yards again. So keep noting that. This is like the 7th or 8th time in a row the quarterback on the other team threw for like at least 300, 350 against the Lions. Their secondary sucks. And they get Stafford this week. The Bears in Green Bay was surprising, but that's how bad Fields and Love are. I don't know. Everybody's saying how good Love is. Love's terrible. 17-9 and a must win, and I didn't see that. Lawrence, I knew Tennessee was going to win. Their coach was so fired up. And Jacksonville, Lawrence is a choke. All these guys, look, you're a pro quarterback. Obviously, you can throw a 10-yard pass. And everybody thinks, oh, look how good you are. Oh, look, he threw a 10-yard pass that hit the guy in the numbers. He's a good quarterback. There's a lot more to it than that. It's not about that. It's about – that's why I keep saying how these guys aren't good. They can't read a blitz. They're not good in pressure situations. You watch. Lamar, one and done. Bye-bye. And he's going to get – well, he could get Cleveland more than likely. Miami at Kansas City. Pitt at Buffalo. He doesn't want to see Pitt again. I'm not sure he wants to see Buffalo. I don't like this Miami KC game on Peacock. What the fuck is that? Why do you want to show a game that nobody can see and you want people to buy Peacock to see it? And how many people are you going to lose by them not buying it? Hey, Alex, how are you? I get it, Alex. You think Michigan's going to win, and I'm like, that's your opinion, and mine is Washington's going to win. So that's fine. Great day yesterday. I was like 11-2. Just the Bears. Fields played like he was at Ohio State. He played like he was playing Michigan. Yeah, I get it. It's a fantasy, so enjoy. It'll never happen. They can't possibly win the game. There's no way. But that's okay. You enjoy it. What is it? Is it even on TV? Or is it on ESPN where nobody can watch it? I don't get ESPN. My cable company doesn't have. I got Tubi. I got Roku, and there is a little app for ESPN, but I have Spectrum and it doesn't carry it. So I will, unless I want to go to the sports bar, I'm going to just sit at home, watch a movie, and then go to YouTube, and I'll watch the highlights of the game like I did last week. Well, hopefully it's on ABC. Let's take a look. It should be, because really what they're doing is screwing themselves. Now it says ESPN. It's ESPN, I think. I don't know. I'll see on the guide. Right now it's 4.5, 55.5, Michigan. Why are they favored? Why are they number one? I have no idea. It really makes no sense to me. Yeah, it's on ESPN. So I won't be able to watch. I mean, my foot's hurting. I got my gout again. I can't believe it. I ate so bad. I had a pizza and I'm having ice cream, and Jenna was yelling at me, "You got your gout again?" And I said, what can I say? It was the holidays and I ate And I was fine, and I ate too much. And then it's okay. I wanted to fast anyway, but my foot's just bothering me. Direct TV, don't have that. If I really want to, there's a hamburger bar I can go to. What time's it at? It's at 7:30. Does that mean it starts at 7:30, or does that mean it's the pregame 7:30 and starts at 8, which is probably my guess. It's an app you can download if you have Fire TV. I have Roku. So Direct TV is one of my apps in Roku. And then I can see it. And how much does this cost? Direct TV. No, I'll look into it. Oh, well, that'd be nice, Alex. Sure. Yeah, send it. Email me, and then so I go into Direct TV's one of my things. I do that. I just log in with your ID. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I will certainly try it. So it's only $1,000 a ticket for nosebleeds. Thank you, Alex. Who in their right mind, and yet the stadium would be full. Who has thousands of dollars to buy these tickets? I mean, you're nosebleed. Imagine the guy at the 50-yard line. It's got to be 10 grand a ticket. Who has 20 grand to go to this thing? Does that make any sense to anybody that these tickets would be so expensive and yet it's full? Okay, but what's the face value of the ticket? So the face value was $300-400, and they're selling them for $1,000, even on Ticketmaster. Why don't you just walk to the game and see if anybody's got two or one? Anybody got to? I used to do that to Michigan games. You'd walk in you'd go where the stadium is, and there was always people selling tickets, and they would scalp them, and you could get a pretty good price, especially if it was like Michigan Northwestern. Nobody cared. Or the MAC games when they play Bowling Green in there. Although I would have probably wanted to see the UNLV game. They had a pretty good team. It's sold out. They are all resale tickets that are available. Everything's electronic now. Nobody scalps paper tickets anymore. Well, what do they do in front of the stadiums? So you're telling me that the guy in front of the stadium with who needs two tickets isn't there anymore? Or is he on his phone? So how do you get rid of your tickets? That's ridiculous. It's sold out there, all resale tickets. Well, how do you get in? There must be on your phone, like at the airport, you have the little QR screwy thing, and you do that. You think these stadiums are set up for that? You think U of M has the thing? They're just old men that are tearing your tickets and putting it in and giving it. So you're telling me the old men aren't there ripping the tickets anymore? And they're all QRs? Really? At Ball State, you think they're doing that? I don't think so. I don't know. I'll have to go to a game just to see how they scalp tickets now. I'll have to do my research. All right, so let's break this game down as only I can break it down. So Washington's an A team, 24 defense, beating Oregon twice, Arizona, UCLA, and now Texas. And Texas is good. Michigan, I don't know if they're an A team. They have a 22 defense the way I do it, which is taking Ohio State, Penn State, and Alabama and ignoring all the bullshit high school games they played, the Nebraska, the Rutgers, the Michigan State, the Indiana, all this bullshit, Minnesota, all these teams with no quarterbacks. and they'd shut them out or give up 3 or 6 points. So ignore all that. They don't have a 10 defense. They got a 22 defense because the decent teams, and they're not good teams, Penn State, Ohio, and Alabama are not really good teams at Washington's level, at Georgia's level, at Oregon's level. So Michigan hasn't beaten anybody yet. People are getting drawn in. Oh, look at, I'm listening on the radio. Look at what a defense. And you're like, what kind of defense? Who did they play? Beating Bowling Green 34-3 does not say you have a good defense. I mean, because that's, Kansas wins 66-0 over Bowling Green. Does that mean they got a good defense? So I'm not buying that. So let's say Washington 24 defense against Oregon twice, Texas, USC, Colorado, and the boy, Oregon twice, Oregon State, Washington State. And the Oregon State game was in a rainstorm, by the way. So Washington's played against some very good defenses and played a whole lot better teams and better schedule. So the 24 defense, now in the same token, Oregon's got a 17 defense, and they played Washington twice. So Oregon's defense is stronger and much stronger than Michigan's. So we look at the past to get to the future, and we say, well, Washington beat Oregon not once, but twice. Okay, one game was at Washington. Oregon fucked up. They went for 4th down at the goal line twice and didn't make it. And then at midfield to put the game away. If they would have punted, they would have put the game away. And they didn't make it, and they gave Washington the ball at the 50. So everybody, Washington doesn't have a defense. Well, when it was 4th down twice, and we know Oregon's got Bo Nix and the big running back, and on 4th and 1, 3 times they held them. Oh, Washington can't play defense. Oh, no, Michigan's going to run the ball on them. Oh, bullshit. The coach is much better on Washington. This guy's great. He was like 57-3 at wherever he came from, and now he's like 35-2 at Washington. And to run the table the way he did this year, remember, give them credit. They haven't lost this year, and they played a Pac-10 killer schedule, right? USC, Colorado, Utah, UCLA, Oregon twice, Arizona State, Washington State, and Ooglia Booglia at Oklahoma. Well, at Oregon State, he doesn't count, but the rest of the schedule was really tough, and they won every game. So the question is, why is Michigan 4.5-point favorites? I can't figure that out. Now, I live in Michigan. I'm kind of a Michigan fan to a point, but I'm smart enough to not let that influence my decision. I got Washington winning 37-31. If it's even that close, which I'm not sure it'll be. They will not stop Penix. They haven't seen anything like him. Milrose was not a passer. He was a runner. The Ohio State kid, McCord, was nothing. Penn State kid was nothing. And that leaves you with what? Maryland put up 20-some points on them. So they haven't played, so you don't know. But I know Penix has played the Oregons, the Texas, the Arizona, the UCLA, and beaten them all. That's what I see is him against these top 5 defenses and just blowing them out. Only against, I think it was Oregon State in the rainstorm was 24-22. That was it. Otherwise, they're 30s and 40s. Or they played one strange game with Arizona State. They won 17-9 or something, which was like, that was the week right after the Oregon game. If the Oregon coach would have kicked a field goal in that first game, they would have beat Washington. Exactly. He was down there twice, 4th and goal at the 5, and once right before half. But not only that, if he would have just punted the ball with a minute left in the game at midfield instead of going for it. So 3 times on 4th down, he went for it and didn't make it. But even if he did that, they were winning, if he just punts the ball, Washington starts at, let's say, the 10-yard line. They're going to go 90 yards. You gave them momentum because you sat there and you didn't punt the ball. So it's a turnover, right? So when I tell you the 4th down, it's more than not getting it. It's a turnover. It fires up the other team and your team's down. And you did it at the exact wrong time with the minute left in the game. You gave them the ball at the 50. Are you out of your fucking mind? That's the stupidest thing I've ever seen. You can't do that. It's not. You can't look at it. They look at it wordplay. Well, if I make it, the game's over. Well, guess what? If you punt it, the game's over. If I make it, the game. And what if I don't make it? Then I lose. Are you factoring that into your equation? Because that's what happened. You didn't make it and you lost. Was that worth the risk of going for it on 4th and 1 against Washington with a good fucking defense? I mean, you think Washington, the way you guys are making it sound like Washington can't defend anybody. Fuck. Holding Oregon to 31 twice, and Texas, what was the Texas score again? 37-31. There you go. They keep doing this, 37-31. I think Oregon was 35-31, 37-34 or something like that. You don't understand. Holding Texas to 31 and holding Oregon twice in the 30s is incredible. What was that Oregon, the last Oregon score? Washington 34-31. So you don't think holding Oregon to 31 and Texas to 31 shows a good defense? And if Michigan played those teams, you think they'd hold them to 30 points? They held Ohio State to 24, and Alabama got 20 on them. Milrose took 7 sacks because he didn't know what the fuck he's doing. He can't read that. Believe me, Penix does not get sacked. Very, very rarely. He knows what to look for, and he gets rid of the ball quickly. So everybody thinking Michigan's going to sack them like they did Milrose is out of their minds. This is apples and oranges. I mean, this is Mahomes against Lamar here. I mean, I'm going to sack Mahomes. Yeah, bullshit. You can sack Lamar. You ain't sacking Mahomes. You're not sacking Penix. Just think, put it like this. Michigan is playing Mahomes, and you still want to play Michigan. Be my guest. That's how you must look at it. That's how I look at everything. You common denominator it. So in this case, you've got the better coach. You've got the better quarterback by a mile. They can run the ball. They got great receivers, much better than Michigan's. And I don't think the defense is about even. Again, you're getting skewed into Michigan beating Rutgers and Nebraska and Bowling Green, saying, wow, what a good defense. Oh, Nebraska scored, 15 points a game? How about Iowa? Iowa scores 10 points a game. They shut them out. Ohio State barely scored on Notre Dame, got 24 in Michigan. They got 19 on Notre Dame. It's not Ohio State did not have this killer offense. And Alabama, they got 27 on Auburn. How they got 20? How they beat Georgia is a mystery. Georgia probably laid down and then thought they'd get in, and they got fucked. But how you don't have Georgia in this game makes it totally meaningless. It doesn't matter who wins. Georgia is the best team. Georgia against Washington, I thought would have been the best challenge for Georgia. A Penix would have bothered Georgia. They would have put their 5-6 men blitz on, and if he could get rid of the ball that quickly, Washington would have beat Georgia. But that Georgia not here is a joke. I mean, that's just it's an insult to and Oregon. They should have went out with an 8-team playoff here, adding Oregon and Georgia, and I'm not sure about Ohio State. Florida State should have been added, and Missouri, Ohio State, one of those teams. And that's what but you fucked everything up. And so now not having Georgia in it, it's like the NCAA tournament when the top seed gets upset early in the tournament, and then some 10 seed wins, and you try to make it sound like they're the best team. No, they're not the best team. They won the tournament, but if they had to play the North Carolinas and the Dukes, they'd lose by 30 points. Washington, I don't want to hear that. But your case doesn't hold water because Washington's playing in the Pac-10, which is loaded with offenses. Caleb and Colorado, Prime, and all these things. What do you think? They're going to be a top 10 defense? You think Michigan's a number 1 defense? Yeah. So you don't understand. Dig into it. Who did Washington beat? Oh, Oregon twice, Texas, and USC and Colorado and everything. Who did Michigan beat? Nobody. Next year will be fun with 12 teams. Well, even that should be 16. But what are you going to do with the bowls next year? Nobody gives a fuck about Northern Illinois playing Troy. Are we going to watch that? Does anybody go to these things? So that's your problem. It's on ESPN and nobody watches it is the big problem. And then you've got nobody caring and all these players opting out. I don't want to watch these games. These games, the only reason they're not, I don't know why they're not opting out of this game. They might get hurt. Penix probably shouldn't be playing in the game. What do you think of that? Penix is risking his NFL career on a meaningless game here. Really, it's an exhibition just like the bowls. There's no difference. Why is Penix playing in the game? Because it's a playoff, it's a championship game? Bullshit. Now without Georgia, it ain't. So Penix risks injury in this game, but Hartman couldn't play for Notre Dame, and Caleb couldn't play for USC. What the fuck's the difference? If I was Penix, I wouldn't play tonight because I might get hurt. God, I'm so sick of that. Only the gambling community and the individual fan bases of the teams and the bowls watch those lower bowl games. I'm not sure the gambling community. I don't watch it. I lead the gambling community. I don't watch those games. Half of them I couldn't bet on because I didn't know who was going to play in them. You're doing all the extra work I had to do going, is he opting out? Oh, wait. James Madison's opting out and transferring, but their guys are still playing. What the fuck was that? The gambling. I didn't know there was a gambling community. Is there like a housing? And is there a subdivision I should be living in, the gambling community? Believe me, the individual fan bases don't give a shit about Northern Illinois playing Arkansas State. Believe me, the fan bases could care. The family, it's like when I was coaching my daughter's softball team. The only people that went to the games were the family. That was it. The crowd was the family. That was it. And if it was a bigger game, like a playoff game, then the aunts and uncles came. That's about what you have here. The parents of the kids are the only ones going to these bowl games. I liked it. There's a gambling community. Where is this gambling community? See, Alex, what you're doing here is exactly what I warn against. Washington's got number 97 defense, and Michigan's got number 1. And guess what? Washington's undefeated, beat Oregon twice, Texas, Arizona, Oregon State, Washington State, Utah, UCLA. That really matter. They're leading by so many points. The other team is throwing because the Penix has put up 40 on the other side. So that's where you're giving me meaningless stats. Well, if you understand the content, then why are you using them? You're trying to make a case for Michigan by saying, look, they got the number one defense, even though they hadn't played. Okay, so let's turn the table on you. What's the highest ranked offense they played? Was it even in the top 100? Iowa, Nebraska, Ohio State certainly wasn't a good offense. Neither was Penn State. Neither is Alabama. They didn't put up 40, 50 points on everybody like they did before. So, of the teams that Michigan won, was any of the offenses in the top 75? And I doubt it. So, of course, their defense is going to look better. They haven't played anybody. And of course, Washington is going to look worse because they're playing teams that put up 50 points a game in Oregon and, USC. They handled them 52-42. Does that mean good luck stopping Caleb? He's very hard to stop, but they won 52-42. Does that make them not a good team? But they put up 52 on the worst defense in the world. And the worst defense in the world, USC's defense, gave up 37 a game. So all I'm saying is just throw that out the window. It's meaningless. We don't care about that. What we care about is that Penix is playing and everybody's playing. I don't see any injuries that are the running backs playing who got hurt last week. He's had a bad ankle, but he'll take the needle tonight. I guarantee it. And Michigan will not get to him with the blitz. They won't. I'll give Michigan one sack. That's it. They're not going to do what they did to Alabama because Penix knows how to read a fucking blitz and gets rid of the ball before. And when he throws the ball, Michigan's going to be running the other way. You're not going to stop Washington's offense. It ain't going to happen with this defense. And Michigan will get their points, but their offense is nowhere near the Oregons and the Texas. Texas had a much better offense than Michigan, right? As did obviously USC, obviously Colorado. So these teams that Washington played, their offenses were probably in the top 20, top 30. Oregon's, I'm sure, they scored 47 a game. I guarantee you. And Texas, those offenses are much better than Michigan's. That's my point. Michigan, they run the ball. You're down 28-0. You're going to run the ball? Oh, J.J. McCarthy has to start throwing. Only he sucks. That's the problem. He can't. He's not a quarterback. He'll run a little bit, but he can't. He's not anywhere near Penix's league or Bo Nix's league or Hartman's league or Caleb's league. I mean, he's nowhere near that. So that's what you're missing. You gotta really rip away everything and look at who's playing, and then you'll realize, fuck, it's Penix. You get 10.5 in Penix. So Washington wins the game and the game goes over. You can tease it like that. I already teased it. Yesterday I had the Lions with Washington over, and then I had Buffalo over with Washington over in a lock. So I'm locking the over, and then I just put a bet in now Washington over with Detroit over next week. I already got the lines for next week, and that's the easiest no-brainer I can get is the Lions over. So Washington wins it. Yeah, I get it, Alex. You've stated that. I understand. You think that Michigan beating Michigan State equals Michigan against Washington. I get that. And they might run for 200 yards. They're not going to win. And I looked up your little C.J. Stroud against Georgia. Yeah, he had 344 yards. You know how many yards LSU put up on Georgia throwing the ball with the backup quarterback, Newsberger, and I guess Daniels got hurt in the game. Together, the two of them put up 510 yards of passing against Georgia in the 50-30 game that Georgia. This is passing. So you're trying to say C.J. Stroud, look how good he is. He put up 348, and LSU put up 500. So does 348 really sound good when the backup for LSU's lighting them up and Daniels? So Daniels threw for 2-something, and the backup threw for like 300 almost. So the backup's lighting him up. Why isn't he drafted? He threw for 300 against Georgia. He started the bowl game, the same guy, Neusmeyer or whatever. Last year, well, I'm comparing it to C.J. Stroud. They didn't play LSU this year. So in the SEC championship game, LSU played Georgia. Georgia won 50-30. And the 30 points was 500 yards of passing by the backup and Daniels, right? 200 for Daniels, 300 for the backup. And you're quoting me how good C.J. Stroud is because he threw for 348. I'm saying, well, they threw for 500. So that does, let's put it in perspective. So you're good at sending out stats, but most of the stats are kind of meaningless. So we'll see. So now to your point, let's see what C.J. Stroud's all about. So are we done with the ball? Michigan, Washington 37, Michigan 31, 10.5, and Washington's a steal over, what was it, 55 over 48, 49. That'll probably be halftime. Well, the score in the 60s, so there you go. Well, maybe Washington might kill them and ruin everybody's fun. Well, it won't ruin my fun. I should go to the poker room like I did last year. So last year I'm in the MGM because I'm playing poker New Year's Eve, and I'm the only one in the room with TCU. I got TCU and 13, 14 points. I think 13. Everybody's got their Michigan shit on, and they're all rooting for Michigan except for me, and I'm loving every minute of it. TCU wins by 20 points or whatever. So there you go. That was fun. So maybe I should do that tonight and go down. I can watch it in the poker room and cheer for watch. I can't play poker watching the game because my attention goes to the game. But that'll be fun. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to a restaurant and there's a hamburger bar I can go to that'll play up the game on. I don't know how crowded they'll be. I don't know how many people run to those type of places or versus just sitting at home on a Monday night because they got to work. Hey, Todd, we're got another Big 8 team teaser. Need Washington and over. There you go. You'll get it. Even with Alex's score, you get it, right? 61's over and Washington and 10. I guarantee the over there. Yeah, the fucking Buffalo game let us down. But you don't have the pros, do you, Todd? But yeah, it was a great way. I was 11-2 in college in the pros this week, and we can cap it off tonight. I'll tell you, I've been reading the pros the last 5 or 6 weeks. My programmer, I have an IT guy. He doesn't work for me. He works at like IBM or something, but he helps on the website. And I'm having a problem with addition. So when you see the numbers, they don't add up. So it goes, how did we do in the pros this week? How did we do in the college? And how did we do on locks? I think there's a little bug in when I have to do pro and college. So if Todd, he doesn't get the pros, but if I put a college with the pro, Todd would see both. Then he would get the pick because I didn't know what to do. I can't, he's paying for the college, So I got Washington with the Buffalo Bills. What am I supposed to do there? So we invented a new category, pro college. So it's one of each, but I'm not sure it's getting picked up in the history properly. There's only pro and college and locks. And then you're not even supposed to total all three. You keep track of the locks, but the locks are included in the pro and the college. So it really should be pro and pro college for total. But the total's not accurate. I don't know what I'm up. It's not like 100. It's all crazy. So he's into it now and he'll fix it. But the way I've been picking the last 7-8 weeks, I'm sure I'm up pretty good. All right. So 37-31, Washington playing against one of the most overrated teams in the history of overrated teams. The Michigan, we play high school teams and somehow we make the national title. All right, so let's look at the NFL playoffs. I don't think we have. There's not a lot to review. We can review what? All right, Green Bay got in, beating the Bears 17-9 at home. Jacksonville choked to Tennessee, but I don't think it was a choke. Houston got a good win, 23-19. Buffalo gets the win. Miami looked like shit last night, 21-14. To get the 2 seed. New Orleans looked good, but didn't make it. Philly, I don't think Philly could beat Washington. I think Penix would light them up because they don't have a defense. I mean, they gave up 27 points to the Giants. Philly's one and done. The Rams didn't need it. Seattle, unfortunately, didn't get in. Dallas, 38-10 against the Z team, and it was predicted at 34-7. So that was dead on. Again, a 34 defense on the Z team. That's why I keep track of this stuff, right? Dallas in a must-win. It's pretty obvious that this stuff works. And then Pitt 17-10. So Pitt is on a good note getting in. See, Philly, they're playing like shit, but Pitt looks, they had to beat Baltimore. Now, Lamar didn't play, and it was in the rain, but okay. Tadley, I had Giants, Zona, Cowboys. Well, I don't know. I assume South Dakota State won if you're putting them up there. Yeah, I had the Giants over, and I had Arizona over, and then I had Oakland under, and Kansas City under, and San Francisco under. If you're not going to play Mahomes, then where are you going to score? So logic dictated a lot of the easy winners this week, and Philly's always an over. All right, so the first 2 games are Saturday, AFC games. Cleveland, 3-44. What's going on there, Alex? Why is Cleveland favored, not Houston? I have Houston -3. You got a 25 defense in Cleveland against the 22 against Houston because they want to pretend that they're the San Francisco 49ers. I thought Saleh was the defensive coach. He leaves, and then this Nico Ryans is now he's the defense. He didn't build the Niners. Saleh did on the Jets. So again, it's Charlie Weiss is the offensive coordinator for New England, and then they come in with 5 other guys, and it's all Tom Brady's doing. So this is what I see here. So I don't buy this Nico Ryans as this defensive guru. So I finally watched the Houston-Indy game, and they both suck. Cleveland laying 3. They're kind of an over team. The 25 defense, although it's Joe Flacco, who choked in most playoffs except for the one where he beat Denver. I think they won 1 title. Got a big contract and never showed up again. Over under a 44. I got a 25 defense and a 22. Hey, you got Myles Garrett back. CJ Stroud. Garrett's going to be all over him. Now you'll see CJ Stroud. How does he handle a big game against a big defense? Then you can talk to me how good he is. You can't talk to me until we see this game. Give him a little credit for beating Indy, but Indy fucked themselves on that last play. Had the guy just caught the ball, they might have scored and won the game. So I'm CJ Stroud to me is the same as Fields, and they choke. So not sure. Game there, the Cleveland. Alex Ryans has done an outstanding job this year. Total culture change. To say the Texans suck is a ridiculous statement. They won't. They won the division and made the playoffs. So did the Lions. The Lions suck. They might get beat Saturday, but they don't suck. The team I watched against Indy sucked, and Indy. They both sucked. We look at things a lot different, Alex. They won the division at 10-6 or 10-7. The Lions won the division, and they're terrible. They did what Michigan did. They beat a bunch of nobodies. The best team Detroit beat was what, Denver? Beating the Bears and Green Bay and Minnesota is not really a big deal. Houston, let's look at you. Did they beat anybody that's good? Let's see who Houston beat. So to back up your argument, they would have had to have beat somebody. Let's see. All right. They lost to Baltimore 25-9. They beat Jacksonville, who's not a playoff team. They beat Pittsburgh 30-6. Lost to Atlanta, beat New Orleans, not a playoff. They lost to Carolina. Case closed. How the fuck do you lose to Carolina? They beat Tampa 39-37, Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, Arizona, they lose to Jacksonville, they beat Denver, they lose to the Jets. They beat Tennessee, they lose to Cleveland, they beat Tennessee, and they beat Indy. So, of the teams they beat, who's any good? Cleveland, they got killed. Denver, they did beat. Give them credit. Cincinnati without Burrow, no. Tampa, Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta. Oh, they had the hard schedule. Carolina, New Orleans, Atlanta. Who else did that? Oh yeah, the Lions had the NFC South, which sucked. Pitt, I'm not sure. And then they played Baltimore and got killed. So let's see, Pitt. Pickett, 15-23 for 114 yards. Yeah, that's pretty good. So who did they beat? What's their big win? I mean, of the teams they played, I don't see San Francisco or Dallas or Philadelphia or Buffalo on here, or even Miami. So they played Baltimore. Indy didn't make play. Jacksonville, Pitt, barely. Atlanta. So where do you find that to be a good team? What, the Denver win, 22-17? Or the Cleveland loss, 36-22? I don't consider the Indy win a big win. Tennessee, they had a terrible year. So they played Cleveland and lost. Who's not a playoff team. Did they beat a playoff team? Tampa. They beat Tampa 39-37, if you want to call them a playoff team. Otherwise, they lost to Atlanta. They beat New Orleans. They beat Pitt. So basically, they played Baltimore, got killed. They played Cleveland and got killed. They beat Pitt early in the year. And what are you looking at that makes them a good team? What's their quality win? Denver, 22-17. Cincinnati without Burrow doesn't count. Tampa, 39. So I guess their best win is Denver and Tampa. Hardly makes them a good team. Our definitions of good teams are a little bit different. They might get beat Saturday, but I don't Chuck Joe Burrow. They beat a Joe Burrow Cincy team at Cincy. All right, let's see. Is this the game he got hurt in? So you think they beat Joe Burrow? 27-40, 2 touchdowns. Chase played. Okay, they beat him 30-27. Let's see. A lot of interceptions in the game since the late 27-24. 27-27 with 37 seconds left. This must have been overtime. This doesn't make sense. Since he tied the game up with 37 seconds left, how the hell did Houston kick a field goal to go 30-27 with a minute 33 left? Or maybe they're calling a minute 33 drive. I don't know. Right at the end of, they won on the last play. So, okay, we'll give them credit for beating a non-playoff team. I'm sorry, I'm not impressed. And what I saw against Indy, I was definitely not impressed. Indy, one of the stupidest coach teams I've ever seen, running Jonathan Taylor every play. Houston still couldn't stop him with the San Francisco defense, supposedly. And then at the end, on the stupidest play I've ever seen, where the guy's he throws behind some guy who's caught 6 passes the whole game. What the fuck are you doing? What kind of play calling was that? So to beat Indy Saturday, no big deal. I'm not buying that. So it's a real bad Houston team. It's a Cleveland team. I don't know with Joe Flacco really in the 25 defense. Houston's 20 defense is like Michigan's. They didn't play anybody. So I don't know. This is the problem with the watered down weak NFL. For me, you got to beat San Francisco. You got to beat Kansas City. You got to beat Baltimore, Dallas, Philly. Not anymore. So that's my point. You haven't beaten those teams, so you haven't done anything. Go beat Kansas City in Kansas City. If they got the opportunity, then I'll say they're a good team. Until then, I don't do it. Okay, great. So I don't know here. We have to check injuries, but Cleveland -3. I got Houston -3 because they're at home. Not that they're the better team. I think Cleveland, Myles Garrett's going to give them a lot of problems. That's for sure. Flacco, what the hell is he doing in the league? And yet Cleveland keeps winning. How they beat Baltimore, I have no idea. KC, 44 to Miami. KC, the under team, they can't score. Mahomes is all they got, Kelsey. Miami just showed you how good they are. Wow, are they bad? They played earlier, 21-14, Kansas City. I like the game under. I would not take Miami in 10. Not with Tagliavoa, choke city. And we know how KC is in a playoff game, although this year they're so bad. My first gut would be to go under in the game, just because KC's an under team. Under 50, it won't come close to it. Miami, I hate the coach. I hate Tagliavoa. Tyreek Hill is all I like. Their defense, they're all injured, and yet Buffalo threw the game. Earl Morrall out there throwing 3 picks. or 2 picks and a fumble in the end zone to nobody. I thought I was watching Super Bowl III last night. So Mahomes isn't going to be that giving where he's giving them interceptions in the end zone. No, that won't be. That won't happen. What an obvious fix that was last night. Oh my God, Josh Allen, pathetic. What had happened? Welcome to our class. Amari Cooper killed the Texans. Receiving, they couldn't. There you go. But I thought Houston was this great team. So now was Flacco the quarterback? Yeah, that was just a few weeks ago, I think. Yeah, that's the kiff. And then I think Hunt played yesterday. So they need balance. If Hunt, or they got a running back and Cooper, Flacco seems to be reborn. I don't know. Houston, Stroud ain't going to win you a game. So, yeah, I like Cleveland there. Well, they were only a non-playoff team because Burrow got hurt in a later game, since he was definitely a playoff team. With Burrow, they beat San Francisco. Houston didn't beat San Francisco. You just shrugged off a great quality win on the road. By who? I don't know. You're making an argument you can't win, Alex. Buffalo, I got Buffalo 3 over Pitt, and the spread comes out 10-40. How the fuck is Buffalo going to win by 10? Pitt's got to do out. Okay, J.J. Watt probably out. We'll have to check the injury there. What do you got? You got whatchamacallit at quarterback? Who do we got? We got Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph's going to lead us. He thinks he's back at Oklahoma State playing Texas. I don't see how this game's an under. I don't see how Buffalo wins by 10. You got to be kidding. What are they watching that thinks Buffalo can win this game by 10 points? Pitt beat Baltimore. Granted, it was raining. Granted, Lamar was getting ready for the NFL draft. I don't see Buffalo as a 10-point favorite here. No chance. Dallas 7-50 to Green Bay, over under a 50. Green Bay is an E team with a 24 defense. Dallas is the A team with the 20 defense. Micah Parsons is going to be all over Love. I like Dallas -1 here, except for Dak is the biggest choke. A 50. Probably an over game, although I don't know. Dallas can play defense. Green Bay, you can't look at the Bear game and try to get anything out of Green Bay. I look at the Lion game when they scored on the Lions 30 points, but they have a really weak defense. I think Dallas wins it. I don't know. I got to look at Love a little bit more, but I don't trust Love. I don't trust Love to win this game more than I don't trust Dak to win the game. Dak, 2 interceptions. Love, 2 or 3 interceptions. I think the key is Micah Parsons, as always. And I think I'm betting Micah Parsons here -1, not Prescott, who God knows. Oh, he lit up Washington. Oh, the Green Bay's just not a very good team either. Dallas, okay. And I'm getting sick of this whole Lion call. Whatever number that the ref said, don't play. Even if it was supposed to be 68, Dallas would have guarded whatever the ref told them. So I don't get this whole thing. Because 68 caught the ball and got the 2-point conversion, has nothing to do with it. The ref said 70 is eligible. They covered 70. If the ref said 68 is eligible, they'd cover 68. I don't get it. So the ref, 70 has been coming into the game, the whole game going, I'm eligible, I'm eligible. So 70 runs up to the ref, and the ref said, oh, okay, you're eligible. Don't go blaming the ref. This was not the ref. Detroit would never have got the 2-point conversion because Dallas would have carded whoever was eligible. And Detroit fucked it up because they tried to be fancy. And why didn't they put 20 guys at the ref? And it didn't matter. Dallas doesn't need to know who it is. The ref's going to go tell them number 52 is eligible. Okay, we'll guard him. I mean, it's amazing how stupid people are. But these are the same people that don't buy gold. So, what am I going to say? Oh, you got Alex. Don't go there. Now you're embarrassing yourself. So with your logic, how come Oklahoma's not in the playoffs? They beat Texas. Wait, Oak State beat Oklahoma. So why isn't Oak State with my guy Ollie? What's his name? Ollie Gordon. Oak State should be in this championship because they beat Oklahoma, who beat Texas. Don't go there, Alex. That's embarrassing. LA and Detroit. Detroit 351. Detroit with a 27 defense. They have given 300 yards to CeeDee Lamb yesterday to Jefferson, the other day to Jefferson. Their defense sucks. Their secondary is terrible. They have a good offense. This will be your free play. Go over with Detroit and the Rams. It's a beautiful over. Stafford will light them up. Detroit seems to have a good offense, although I'm not sold on it. They played the Bears 28-13. Play this with the Washington over, which is that's my college play today. Is Washington over? Play it with Detroit over. Detroit over is the simple play. Detroit scores a ton, gives up 27. It's a perfect over team, just like Miami. I thought Miami's an over team also. They score 30 a game, although where was it yesterday? Oh, wait, they only score 30 a game against the Arkansas States and New Mexico States. They don't score 30 a game when they're playing Buffalo and Baltimore and the Jets and other teams. Any good team, Miami's like a 15 offense. So love that over Detroit, LA. And last but not least, how the fuck is Philadelphia favored? They tried yesterday for a while and got their ass kicked by the NY Giants, right? With Danny DeVito and Tyrod Taylor. Wow. I got Tampa laying 3 here, and Philly's the 3-point favorite. This is another game you got to go over. Philadelphia, no defense. Matt Patricia's the defensive coordinator. I think you take Tampa 9, and I think you go over, and I think this is a piece of cake. Philadelphia is gone. They're out. The coach gone. He'll be fired. Matt Patricia's your defensive coordinator. What the fuck? Did you not watch him in Detroit for 2 years? I mean, what part of you think he's any good? Oh, he coached at New England. So what? Belichick was the coach. And now we see he's a fraud. As soon as Brady leaves, he can't win a game. They scored 3 on the Jets yesterday. That was really – oh, yeah, he's a great coach. Yeah, okay. I honestly don't see how Philly's the favorite here. Now, again, this is Monday. By Wednesday, Tampa Bay will probably be favored. What the fuck was Tampa doing yesterday? 9-0. I got to see that highlights, but that's ridiculous. Put up a 9 on Carolina. The real question is, did Vince Young throw for 100 yards? That guy's terrible. Wow. You got shut out by Tampa Bay at home. Wow. What a league we have here. So this is what you need to understand. The league sucks. There's 2 or 3 good teams. Frisco, Baltimore, Dallas, I don't even consider they're okay, and Kansas City. And Cincinnati at Burrow is healthy. That's it. That's all you got. That's the league. And the rest of these teams suck. They just beat each other up. Like Michigan, they beat Bowling Green and UNLV and Nebraska and Rutgers. So they beat a bunch of bad teams. You think they're good, and it's the same thing here. The league sucks. The Lions haven't beaten a good team. They're in the playoffs, but who did they beat? I think they beat Denver. San Diego, I thought was a good win at the time. They lost to Minnesota, or they lost to Green Bay and Chicago. Baltimore beat them 38-3, and that's about the measuring stick, right? That's same as Houston got killed by Baltimore. That shows you how they are against a good team. So Philly, Tampa, I just don't. Philly with the 28 defense. How do you bet Philly here? It's like yesterday with Todd betting on the Giants. Same thing. Hey, Greg and John. I didn't see you there. You're the vampire. Yeah, but it's not. You shouldn't be proud of it. It's not like a good vampire. Oh yeah, Alex, you're still with Texas at Cincinnati. Okay. Well, the Texans need Ollie Gordon. They wish they could get Ollie Gordon and get a couple of receivers. They desperately need some receivers. So why doesn't Indy take away Nico Collins? And you want to think Indy's a good team? They're not smart enough to double team Nico Collins. They're not smart enough to blitz. The one time they blitzed Stroud, he didn't see it. The guy came in clean and knocked him down. So he just throws to Nico Collins. And Indy's too stupid to double team him because they don't have anybody in the secondary because they're all hurt. Because nobody plays preseason ball and they all hurt their hamstrings and their knees and everything else. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you wish that they get Ollie Gordon. He's Jim Brown. He's a great running back. And you need that to take because Stroud can't beat you. But again, these defensive coordinators want to play these deep zones. It's ridiculous. That's all you do is run on them. So yeah, if they did that, then Houston would be a much better team. Not sold on their coach. He doesn't look like him. He knows what's going on. The defense I thought was good isn't really that good. They couldn't stop Jonathan Taylor running the ball every freaking time. And they couldn't stop him. I don't know. Not very good teams. But I'm seeing it. You see, Alex is all emotional here from Houston. All the time, believe me, I grew up in Detroit. The last thing I am is emotional. I sit there and laugh at the Lion fans. Some guy will have a Lion coat on or a Lion sweatshirt, and I'll go up to him. Did you lose a bet? Do you have to wear the Lion sweatshirt or the Lion hat? I mean, this is the biggest Ponzi scheme is the Lions. They haven't won in 65 years. They've won one playoff game because they had Barry Sanders, one of the best running backs that ever played. And yet, they beat Dallas with Jimmy Johnson, and then they lost to Washington by 50. And they weren't bad, and they never came back. I remember the Philadelphia game. They lost 44-10 or something a year or two later. So this is a bullshit team, Detroit. I wouldn't trust them. I do like them over because they score. But they won't sign. Watch. They won't sign Goff. They won't sign St. Brown or any of the guys because look at Slay is on Philadelphia. This other running back is on Philadelphia. Everybody goes to Philadelphia. They sit there going, wow, the Lions are letting this guy go. We'll take him. So they have talent, but they can't do anything with it. We got Frisco and Baltimore on the bye. I don't know why they got rid of the other bye. That was stupid. It's much better when the first and second play for the bye. I mean, that was why you played for it. I think the Rams beat Detroit. I think Tampa beats Philly. Dallas beats Green Bay. Can Pitt beat Buffalo without J.J. Watt? That's going to be a tall order, but there's no way it's a 10-point game. KC beats Miami, no problem, and Cleveland beats Houston, no problem. I think that they're setting up a Cleveland-Baltimore rematch, I'm sure. KC Buffalo rematch, and then you got, God knows, Dallas does not want a San Francisco rematch. They'll get killed. LA, very dangerous team. I'd say LA's got a better chance than Green Bay, Dallas, Philly, and Tampa. So it should be Frisco and the Rams in the NFC Championship, and Baltimore against Kansas City. I guess you got to go with Mahomes in the AFC. Best defense, Pittsburgh at 18, Dallas at 20, Micah Parsons, the Rams, Aaron Donald 22, Tampa 23, Houston 22, Kansas City at 21. Kansas City's an under team. It's funny how they don't have any receivers now. It's Kelsey, Mahomes, and no receivers. It's what the fuck happened? Greg and John, nice to see some of these coaches getting fired. Why did they even get hired is my question. Atlanta coach got the ropes. Yeah, he sucked too. Yeah, Washington. Well, why did Washington? The guy sucked at Carolina, and where's Bobby Bowe? I don't know. I think we knocked him out. He fasted the other day. I tried to talk him into a 36-hour fast because he's got an infection or something. So there's the guy inside of us. He comes out after 18 hours. Well, he comes out earlier, but after 18, he's stronger. So I'm doing I'm not gonna eat today, and then I'll eat tomorrow at lunch. So I'll go 24, 36, 40. I'll do a 42. My foot's bothering me again. I ate too much shit for the holidays, and thought I was getting away with it. And then I took my friend to breakfast. I got eggs, was good, but then I got like pancakes and toast, which I never eat. And I said, I'll have a little. I didn't put syrup on the pancakes, but it's all sugar. That's the problem. The pancakes, it's all sugar. The toast is all sugar. The eggs are okay, but that's the problem with it, right? You don't realize you're eating pancakes. You might as well take out a fucking container of sugar and you're eating it. So my foot started bothering me like the next day, and then you feel a little twinge in your Achilles, and now it's like, and it takes 4 or 5 days to get out of the foot. However, if you like Saturday, I was fine. I went to the pool and ran, and I was okay. Sunday it hit me. Today I'm sore, but the fasting will help. Definitely. Always, when you don't feel good, fast. You've had too much sugar, your body's rejecting something, and you need to clean your body, basically. So it's like you got dishes in the sink. You gotta wash them and clean them up, and that's what your body does. So, but you gotta after 18 hours, the guy comes out. That's why you really need to do like a day and a half fast. Yeah, so I'll do 42 hours, and really all I'm doing is not eating today. I'm having my green tea there, my green tea here, and I'll keep drinking a lot. But that's it. I did want to go for a haircut, but I don't want to limp around too much. I'll go tomorrow, I think. KC is not beating Baltimore. I don't think so. I didn't say they would. I just said that's your final. I think Mahomes gets you to the final, but I don't know. Lamar, he's going to have trouble with Cleveland. Lamar is the biggest choke in the game, so remember that. They've got the Georgia offensive coordinator. That's why they look so good this year. But I don't know. He's such a choke. It's really hard to bet him to win. Do you take colchicine? A little, but not too much. I took one tablet of it. Yeah, I agree with you. It's really like a salt thing. What I try to do is get not eat the sugar, which is what's causing it in the first place. So I'm usually trying to keep the sugar out. The dessert, I don't buy bread. I get pita bread is it, which is a lot less carbs. And my avocado and my salads and my eggs and my beef. It's usually I don't get it. I haven't gotten it in a while on my diet, but the holidays I had a pie and a cake and some ice cream, and I ate terribly. But anyway, I need this break from the sweets to reset. I get it from red meat, shellfish, or alcohol. See, I don't drink. I don't have too much shellfish, and I never get it from red meat. I don't. I have red meat. I don't get it, and I'll have a lot. I had a roast. I didn't get it. Actually, I had chicken the last few days when this one came on. I found it's from sugar. It's not from that. That's what I'm let you believe. But I know I won't have. I don't drink. I don't have shrimp or lobster or anything. So it leaves it from red meat. But I'll eat red meat all the time and I don't get it. That's what confuses me is when I eat the red meat and I'm fine. And then I get gout and I find it's more from sugar than anything else. I'm not even sure it's gout. I think it's just high blood pressure and your feet bother you more with high blood pressure. I think that, and that the sugar, eating pie or even pop or diet pop, I think causes it much more. And I've been very lenient on my sugars lately. But it's weird because, I ate a lot of sugar. I'll do a 44-hour fast and then everything's fine. So the fasting kind of allows you to have, a piece of cake and then, I'll fast. And kind of puts everything back into perspective. But I need to diet harder anyway. So yeah, it's more, I think, a sugar thing. Anyway, I got to watch it. So we'll analyze a little bit more. This is the first blush. I don't know. Cleveland being a road favorite, bothers me. KC will win. Buffalo laying 10, no fucking way. Dallas 7, I can maybe lay 1. And Detroit, you can only go over, or you take the Rams in 9. And why is Philly favored? And what are you looking at that you would make Philly the favorite? The fact they gave up 27 to the Giants, or they scored 10 on the Giants? And the fact the last 5 games they've given up 40 points a game. At what point are you going, yeah, this is a good team, I'm going to bet them? I just they're an over team with a 28 defense, and they didn't even play Jalen Hurts yesterday. Played a little bit. If they're going to go with Mariota, they're in big fucking trouble. So anyway, that's what I see there. I was watching this for all you Bitcoiners. I was watching this video on how Bitcoin's a scam, and it was really good. And let's see if I can get to it. Here. Crypto, the world's greatest scam. And it makes Madoff look like he's a Boy Scout. the problem with Bitcoin is it's not an asset. And the whole thing of Bitcoin was to make a currency, to make a money, right? I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'll use Bitcoin instead of money. That was the initial idea, was to use it as money, but it isn't money and it's not used as money. 99% of the people who buy it to make money. They buy it for the price to go up. It's the only reason they're buying it. Oh, it's worth 10 grand now. It'll go up to 15 grand or whatever. It's at 40 grand. It'll go up to 60. I'll buy it as an investment. They're not buying it as a currency. It isn't a currency anyway, but they're not buying it that way. And then everything they do, they were showing digital art and digital this and all these monkey heads, and it's all a scam. It's all a new way to get you into digital and then to scam you with it. So the guy with the idea makes some money and everybody else loses their ass. Then there was this one digital thing that sold for like $69 million, was a Ponzi scheme. The guy first of all, he used Bitcoin to buy it, not money. So it's not 69 million or whatever. And they were in cahoots. The guy told them, that'd be like, okay, Alex, you put it up, I'll buy it. So it's fixed. It's not real. Okay, Alex, I'm gonna sell this Mahomes 50 count. You buy it for $30,000. I'll give you back the money. But then we have a market value of $30,000 on the Mahomes card. And that's what they're doing with all this Bitcoin and blockchain stuff. It's all a scam. It's all about that you will make money, not use it as a currency. So in other words, I go to the grocery store now. I can either use the useless paper that I show you or my debit card or credit card, which is useless paper. And the store has to take it. So I can go to the grocery store now, pull out my debit card. Here you go. And take my avocados, and they have to take it legally. But I can't do that with Bitcoin because it's not even money. It's an investment tool, but it's incredibly stupid because I've got the Mahomes card in my hand. I've got the gold and silver in my hand. There's a big difference between this gold and silver and Bitcoin. All right, this I hold. This is gold and silver is not an investment. It is money. I am buying money because I prefer that money over the dollar. I don't prefer the dollar because they print it and the value of the dollar is going down to zero if it already isn't there. And I think it's like 1 cent. That's why I show you the 1 cent. I don't want to hold that money because I don't want to hold anything that's worthless, right? So if I'm selling you my Roku clicker, you're like, I don't want to buy it. It's not worth anything. I can sell you my Canadian Club or my Mahomes. Yeah, this has some sort of value. You're getting a product with it. And that's really the key, right? So in this Bitcoin thing, it's nothing. It's not anything. It's a very risky investment. And more than likely, you're going to lose your ass because nothing's real in it. It's all Ponzi scheme by these guys that, we're going to have monkey faces, or we're going to have Tom Brady was involved and he got scammed. It's all a scam. It's about, I'll talk blockchain or this or that, and it's 40,000, and you buy it, and it's going to go to 50,000. So the only reason you're in it is because you think the value of it's going to go up. You're not in it to buy and sell. You're not in it to go to the grocery store or dinner. You're only in it as a high risk investment. Higher than Madoff, because Madoff was not a high risk investment. You gave him 100 grand, he gave you 10 grand a year or whatever he gave you, 15% on it, 15,000 a year. There was no risk. He gave it to you all the time. You have much more risk in Bitcoin than you had in Madoff, because you could have that Sam the Anvil Neinhardt guy steal from you, and all that Bitcoin or whatever it was is gone. He stole what, 80-90 million dollars or $1 billion. There's no way to measure it. I can measure a football game and say, yeah, I like the over tonight in Washington, Michigan, and we can watch the game. Makes sense. You don't know why Bitcoin goes up and down. And this is the problem. You have no idea why. And there is no answer because there is no reason. It's people getting in because they think it's going to go up. This must be the dumbest people in the world in this scam, because if you are gonna, and if you're betting tonight's game, you have reasons, right? You analyze it and you go, this is the bet, or you buy from me and I analyze it for you and say this is the bet. And then you make a bet, but you can make a small bet. You make $20 bet, and you can see the game, and you can go, okay. You can't do that. Bitcoin, you have no idea why it goes up in value. Not only that, you don't hold anything. So if they can fuck you on the exchange or whatever, the fact it's a blockchain or a Bitcoin or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's not where it gets the value from. It's totally a Ponzi scheme. You're totally in it as a high-risk investment. You're better off playing craps than you are with Bitcoin. At least you got the dice in your hand and you throw 8s and 9s and 10s. You can make some money until you 7 out. You're better off. You have less risk in craps than you do in Bitcoin. You do not understand how Bitcoin goes up. And the only reason you're in it is so you're in it as a high-risk investment. People are losing millions and millions of dollars. And a few people who come out with this new crap, this art thing, or the monkey faces or whatever I was watching, I never heard of half this shit. I would never get involved with half this shit. I was told about Bitcoin at a poker game many, many years ago, and I said, what is it? It's not an asset. It's not money. It's certainly not gold. How does it go up? I don't know. Why would I invest in it? Only an idiot would invest in it, because it's a high risk investment that isn't even an investment. There's no reason it goes up. It's not supply and demand free market like this. Okay, I'm selling it, somebody buys it. Okay, that's free market. He sells it, somebody buys it from him. It's a direct supply demand. I have it, you want it. What's the price? I'll set a price. You meet it, fine. We'll have an auction. 50 people are in it, whatever it goes to. But that's free market. You don't have that in Bitcoin. There is no reason the price goes up or down. I guess people selling it, maybe, but I don't know. Does that make sense? I don't know. Now here's an interesting one with the Barry Bonds, right? Beautiful card, 100 count, but he did steroids, supposedly. Bobby won't confirm this, but he did steroids. So there's no demand for Barry Bonds, even though he's the best hitter that ever played. Hard to understand, people. Like Pete Rose, 4,000 hits, but he's not in the Hall of Fame. Then what's the point of the Hall of Fame? Anyway, but you can't explain Bitcoin going up or down. And the point of Bitcoin was 2009, because of the housing crisis and everybody lost their ass. They wanted to get out of the government and really get out of the government scamming everybody by bailing out the banks, but they don't realize the banks run the government. So of course the banks are going to bail each other out. And basically they wanted to get out of that. So this was supposed to be a digital money, and you can see it's nowhere near that. It's a very, very high risk. You're going to lose 99% of the time because you never sell it, because you're in it, because it's going to go up. That's like stocks, right? You buy Microsoft at $100, it's 150. Do you sell it? No, it's going to keep going up because stocks never go down. They only keep going up and up and up. See, there's no game plan. You don't have money management. You don't have anything. You don't know why you're doing it, but you think you need to invest to make money, which is why most people lose their ass because they don't know what the fuck they're doing to invest. They don't understand it. Todd, leaving class early, getting ready for the big storm. 12 inches of snow in Illinois. Well, stay safe, Todd. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate that. Yeah, stay safe. Yeah, just stay home. Go to the grocery store, get your set. 12 inches. I assume that's coming to Michigan tomorrow or the next day. Well, Alex, you did well, but it's still a Ponzi scheme. You just happened to get out and you made some money, but why aren't you in it now? Because you realize it's a Ponzi scheme, I assume. People made money in it. People make money playing craps. I mean, I'm not saying that, but it's a total Ponzi scheme. There is no reason for it to go up. Therefore, why does it go up in the first place? It's all kind of, there's people behind the scenes who keep pushing it, like the sailor guy and all these other guys who keep pushing the digital and the blockchain and everything else. And there's even like this internet version 3 out there, which is a total scam. Don't ever get into that. But the whole thing is a fucking joke. It's done by like, hey, Alex, why don't we create this and we'll buy in. And then everybody will buy in and we'll get the fuck out and we'll make money because we're going to Ponzi scheme everybody. Basically what it is. Well, did you get in because it was as an investment? Well, it's a Ponzi scheme, but did you buy it as money? I'm going to get out of the system and I'm going to go to the grocery store with Bitcoin. Or did you buy it as a very volatile, highly extreme, zero probability of making money investment? I mean, you might as well, I don't know. Buy stock now is that's about how stupid Bitcoin is. So I'm glad you got out with the win, but you never should have got into it. So at least you took your profit. And that's what I try to teach you here with football. Take your profit. Make your money, take your profit. Build your bankroll so you don't get hurt. You keep winning, you keep taking your bankroll, and off you go. So your bankroll is $5,000, now it's 10 grand. By now it's 20 grand. But you always build your bankroll. Now I got 20 grand. Now I can bet a little bit more. You never want to bet your bankroll. In Bitcoin, what are you doing? You're betting your bankroll. Let's say Alex put 100,000 in it. That's a huge risk for something that he doesn't even know what the hell it is or why it goes up and down. And then it's the fear of missing out, but it's more, I can make money in it without even knowing what it is. So this guy's pretty good at the end. He just says you get a chance, watch it. But he's really good at explaining it's a piece of shit. And for you Vegas guys, I watched this one driving down the strip, 1980s. And this is, I don't know what they did to this. This is what it should look like. Very, very nice. All the colors and everything. And that's what I miss about Vegas now is the Stardust sign doesn't light up and everything else. But think of Bitcoin. Think of everything like Madoff and Bitcoin now the problem is the attack on Wall Street guy who bought $60,000 worth of Ritz real estate trust. He actually bought what should have been a very low risk investment, right? That's what Wall Street is. It's a Ponzi scheme because it's all about invest in stocks, you're going to make money. Invest in bonds, you're going to make money. Invest in real estate trust. But what we talk about here is not investing in gold. You can't lose in gold. It's not an investment. It's money. And it's got to go up because you can't inflate it, right? And that's really the key to it. You hold it, nobody can tell you it's worthless because it'll never be worthless. But it's not an investment. It's a safe haven. It's getting out of money. Even this, I mean, this is extremely, like, you don't think there's a risk in it. See, this is the thing. You don't think there's a risk. You're holding a €5 or $5 bill. You don't understand there's this risk that is really not worth anything. You don't get this. And this is the other problem with Bitcoin. You're in Bitcoin, you've got, what's it at, $30,000, $40,000 of Bitcoin? And what happens when the dollar goes out? Bye-bye. It's not worth anything. Just like Warren Buffett holding $2 billion. It's in dollars. So as soon as the dollar collapses, you got zero. Gold is its own money. So it doesn't need the dollar to be worth anything. And it's manipulated now, and it's still 2,000, 2,100, even though it's manipulated. So understand, Bitcoin is strictly a high-risk investment. And all these little things that come off of this, the monkey heads and this little art and all this other shit. Why the fuck would you want digital art? Wouldn't you want a Picasso or Van Gogh? I got a Van Gogh here. Now it's a poster, but I'd rather have that on my wall than have it digitally virtual. In my on my phone, I have the Van Gogh. Who the fuck? What are you, insane? Thanks, Greg and John. The fear of missing out. Oh, what are you missing out on? I bought it as stock, basically. I bought 5 Bitcoins at around 800 a piece and sold them at 14,000, 4,000 to around 70,000 in a few months. Yeah, and then since then it's done nothing. But it's not a value. It's not anything. But you happen to get lucky because you bought 5 at 800. So it was a very small investment for you. So it's at, let's say, what, 30,000 now? So would you buy 4 now? 3069. Would you spend 120,000 on 4 Bitcoin? Why? So they can go to zero and you wouldn't make anything? Don't be silly, Alex. If you made 800 and sold at 14, so you made 14 grand. You should be dancing in the aisles making 14 grand on Bitcoin. Right now it's 46, but it isn't. It's a fantasy price. How is it derived at? You can't tell me. Could it go to 60? You can't tell me. Could it go to 20? You can't tell me. Because there's no reason. No, you didn't. You bought 5 Bitcoins at 800 and sold them at 14,000. Oh, so you 14,000 each? Oh, okay. And how long? This was in a year? And why did you buy them in the first place? I bought it as a stock. Why didn't you buy stock? Do you understand how a stock goes up? Because they actually, like Canadian Club, like, we make this and we're going to make money on it, so buy our stock. So how would you buy Bitcoin as a stock? Now, the other thing you have to realize, do you now, did you turn the 64,000 into gold and silver now? You could sell it at 230. Would you sell it at 230? You sold it at 14,000 because you thought that was high. So if you had it now, would you sell it? Or would you be afraid it's going to go higher? See, it's just a Ponzi scheme. You don't know why the price went up. You took a risk. And now, so answer the question then. Did you take the 64 and buy gold, or what's the 64 in now? Where did you invest that? So when I go to Toyota, I give them football picks. I get a free oil change. So I talked to the sales manager and the finance manager. Finance manager has gold. Sales manager is stupid. He's got Bitcoin. And I kept trying to tell him to sell the Bitcoin to buy the gold because the Bitcoin, who knows, and the gold's cheap. And he finally did it because somebody else in a store that he knows every night, I guess, takes the money he made by selling auto parts and goes and buys gold every day or something. So he gets his money into gold. So, if I use Alex's logic, I could have bet Tampa Bay for 230,000 yesterday. It won. I mean, I could use the same logic, but that's the point. So if Alex was smart, he'd have turned to 46. He made 64 grand. He'd have bought gold with 64 grand and turned that into $5 million. But let's see if Alex is smart enough to do that. Where's your money now? Or did you buy another stock? Or did you buy Doggy Coin or some other cryptos? So I talked to the sales manager at Toyota to get rid of his Bitcoin to buy gold. And now the other guy did it. Now the wife did it. So they got rid of all their Bitcoin for gold. I mean, it's a no-brainer. But it's all the reason it has value. It's this Ponzi scheme. Madoff's had value too. Was it 64 billion? How did that turn out? So what you have is no reason for it to go up unless people buy it. And even then, I really don't know how they derive the value. So if we all bought 10 Bitcoins and it's 46,000, would it go to 50? I mean, how does it go up? And that's the question nobody can answer. And how does it go down? So is it all somebody buys, it goes up, somebody sells, it goes down? Then you got big problems, because then you don't really have a reason why it's going up. Somebody bought it because they want to make money. So they buy it at 46. So let's say Alex buys, what did he buy? 5 coins. So he buys 5 coins at, let's call it 50,000. So he spends 250,000. And the only reason he's buying it because he thinks it's going to go up, but he doesn't have an explanation of why it's going to go up. So everybody's running into Bitcoin, not into gold. No. We don't want to be smart. We don't know why it's going up. We're afraid we'll miss something. And all these other things that went out, what was it? The deer's head and the cats and all these little Bitcoin shit all went to zero. So Bitcoin will go to zero soon. And then he's going to say, oh, I'm really glad I sold it because I made 64 grand. I would have lost everything. Greg and John, they got a new documentary out called Bitcoin. Well, here, I just showed you. Just watch this video. This video really nails that it's how it's a Ponzi scheme and how these guys come out with everything, and it's all a Ponzi scheme. Bitcoin won't go to zero. Well, hey, Bobby Bo. Nice. How you feeling, Bobby Bo? You did your 40-hour fast. You feeling okay? Well, we're going right now, Bobby Bo. We're doing Bitcoin. And this is a wonderful video that shows that it's a Ponzi scheme and it's worthless. And all these people try to make money on it and scam everybody. Oh, buy this new thing, buy this painting, all these little paintings, the digital paintings, and they scammed everybody by like you bought it from me for $5 million, so people thought it had value. And then I gave you the 5 million back, so you really didn't buy it for 5 million. It was all planned, and everything they do there in this little blockchain world of Bitcoin and everything is all planned and Ponzi schemed, and basically they're selling to their friends to make it look like it has value. Yeah, I did 25 hours yesterday. So you're not, so you were sick, that you're okay with. Okay. How is it widely used, Alex, to move money around? That's not true. No, that's not true either. Blockchain won't help us. What do you mean it's used all over the world? How is it used all over the world? You're missing the whole point of it, Alex. It's all a Ponzi scheme. You don't understand it, so you say statements that you don't know, and therefore you think that's what it is, but it's not. Now you're going to force me to play this last 5 minutes of this video.
I want you to take a quick look at this. Let's say if two talented traders bought Costco stock. What you're looking at depends. Are seeing the potential in this crypto space. Why do they keep pouring money into it?
The overwhelming majority of tokens are securities.
Yeah.
But they're being dumped onto retail investors. This is being done explicitly by venture firms, I won't mention any names, who are buying into companies early, getting into tokens, and then those tokens are being listed on exchanges. The public is buying into them in order to get a financial gain. They have no interest in using those tokens for any utility.
VC firms have a commonly used strategy. They invest in a bunch of startups. Most of those startups will fail, a few will succeed, and with the ones that succeed, a VC needs to decide on an exit strategy, an event that allows them to liquidate their position in a company and essentially make money. This is a process that can take years. So there's another idea that is proposed by skeptics, that the world of crypto offers an incentive for VC firms to invest in a crypto company, receive a percentage of their tokens, and then sell those tokens to retail traders when it becomes publicly available, all achievable within months, highly profitable, and fairly unregulated.
With crypto tokens, they can cash out in a few months. And the way that this actually works is they encourage their fundees to basically issue unregistered securities.
Andreessen Horowitz invested in a bunch of startups that all issued tokens that all got dumped on retail, including Andreessen Horowitz dumping a lot of them on retail. This is blatant securities fraud, but they didn't commit the securities fraud. It was just the companies they invested in.
On the surface, Web3 has this narrative which is all about taking money out of the hands of the rich and the big tech and giving it back to the users. But A16Z is the exact same company that has funded some of the biggest Web2 companies like Facebook and Twitter. I'm sure that there are many inside of these firms that really believe in the potential of Web3 or crypto or blockchains or whatever buzzword you want to use, but it becomes increasingly harder to see that as anything other than hyper-optimism, or another word for it, delusion. There's this interview with Mark Andreessen, right, who's the co-founder of Andreessen Horowitz, and he's on this podcast episode with an economist and blogger called Tyler Cohen, and he proposes the idea for podcasts to make use of Web3.
A well-known podcast host, how does that person get paid in a better way through Web 3.0? Make that more concrete for us.
Now, Mark Andreessen is someone that, by all accounts, should have a good answer to this question, but instead...
they pick their business model. They can pick their business model. They can decide a subscription-based business model microtransactions. They can pick, they can pick whatever model they want. They can also have indirect, there's those whole new rise of this kind of the non-fungible token.
When pressed to give an actual use case, what you get is an answer with all the right buzzwords and phrases, but little actual substance.
I compare it to the internet. Like, in all seriousness, I compare it to the internet, which is the internet basically.
It's 93 or so.
Yeah, it's like 93, 94. This is the only time I've ever said this is like the internet is this.
A16Z uses the same narrative that a lot of crypto enthusiasts will also use. You may hate it, you may think it's a fad, but crypto and Web 3.0 are just like the internet. Even I made this comparison when I looked at the entire space in a more favorable light. Now though, I just think it's another form of smoke and mirrors.
It is the biggest technology shift since the internet. The blockchain, the consumer blockchain, is the biggest new thing since the internet itself.
Bitcoin began in 2009. Arguably, blockchain technology and the foundations for it began even earlier than that. It's been 13 years since this story began with Bitcoin. 13 years to find a solid use case, or at least one that justifies the hype and is already better than an existing system.
Crypto and Web3 is really great at one thing, which is trading and speculation.
And there is absolutely no democratization of anything. There's centralization of exchanges, centralization of miners, centralization of crypto wealth is the most concentrated amount of centralized wealth in the history of humanity. Worse than disease. Worse than Wall Street. It's all bullshit.
13 years after 1983, which is considered to be the birth of the internet, we were already seeing very clear-cut use cases. Even in those early days, people could get weather reports, they could check the news, they could send emails, and many other uses that we still use to this day.
I sent a message to my doctor asking for a repeat prescription, and he's left the prescription for me in the chemist.
By even making the comparison to one of the biggest revolutions in information and communication is already assuming that cryptocurrencies are revolutionary and they're bound to find mass adoption at some point, when that is the very future we're putting into question. One recent post that I remember on the Bitcoin subreddit was titled, "Does anyone else feel like Bitcoin is their literal last-ditch effort to become wealthy in their lifetime?" I don't imagine that this is the only person in the crypto space that is thinking that way. The crypto machine has continued running. New packaging of ideas, more money funneled into the system, and a constant search to find a use case that justifies the hype and the claims of revolutionary technology. If the critics are right, then what we're looking at is a ticking time bomb. If the critics are right, then this is a scheme that will leave tons of regular individuals left holding their bags, wondering how this managed to happen. It already has. A scheme that managed to infiltrate the realm of media and entertainment, that managed to make use of social media's ability to spread this fear of missing out, that capitalized on greed and a get-rich-quick mentality. If the critics are right, then I suppose there's only one question that remains. At what point does the ticking time bomb go off?
This is me now at 40.
That's the bottom line, and Stone Cold saying it. So, Alex, I don't know what where you're at or listening to, but that's pretty obvious to me. It's the Ponzi scheme. He's saying it. It's an hour video, and he says it 100 times. They came up with all this little bullshit to try to get you to invest. It's the same thing in what I do. I mean, there's handicappers that are full of shit. Oh, don't miss out on my game of the year. Do I ever have a game of the year? Don't miss out on that. They want you to buy. They don't give a fuck if they win. They just want you to buy. That's why I go through everything. So I'm honest, and I'm giving you take Washington and the over tonight. So you got it. Then it wins, and you're like, yeah, that's what he said. He knows what he's doing. Oh yeah, what Ponzi scheme mean? Ponzi scheme, it's a criminal act that's fake. So it's like saying you're going to make money. Well, Madoff did it, right? So you would give money to Madoff, and Madoff would give you back money. But he would need more people to give him money. But then he didn't do anything with the money. He just took the money and gave you. So let's say I'm Madoff. So Bobby gives me 1,000. So I got to give Bobby 15%. But I can only do it if I get you to give me another 1,000. So I take your 1,000 and I give Bobby the 15%. and then Alex gives me 1,000, and I take his 1,000, and I give Bobby 15%, and you 15%. So I got to keep getting new people in. At the end of the day, it's crooked, it's illegal, and immoral, and you're making money, but you don't know how. Just like Bitcoin, you don't know how you're making the money, but you know the money's coming in, and it's a scheme. It's just if there's okay. So if I can't get anybody else in, then you and Bobby and Alex all lose because I don't have any money to give you. Because I'm not investing in it. I'm not buying gold with it. I'm not buying stocks with it. I'm just taking the money. So it only works if I keep getting money in. And if I don't get any more money, sorry. Yeah, you know that 1,000 you gave me? It's gone. I don't have it. I gave you back $100. That's what a Ponzi scheme is. And you end up losing everything. And I'm selling you and I make 3,000 and I give out 100 and then I close up shop. That's what a Ponzi scheme is. No, but my foot's bothering me. So, Bobby, for 48 hours. So what I'm going to do is, I'll go tonight. I won't eat today. So 24 hours at 6. I wake up at 6. It's 36. So I'll do a 42. I'll eat lunch tomorrow. I'm too hungry, but it'll be 48. I got to get to work. Okay. Bobby Bo, what's up? Greg John, vampiring, okay. Bobby, by the way, you like Penix to seal the deal tonight, or did I miss that part? Yeah, well, that was the first part, but yeah. I got Washington 37-31. My whole basis is Michigan didn't play anybody all year, and I don't think Alabama, Milrose is equal to Penix or the Ohio State guy. So Michigan's basically not played anybody near this guy's level. And Penix has played several teams with good defenses like Oregon twice, Arizona, UCLA, Texas. He's played 6 or 7 really strong defenses. And they score 36, 37 a game with it. So Michigan's going to stop them? Yeah, okay. So you're in the middle of the fast now or starting? No, I'm starting it now. My foot's bothering me. I had too much shit. So I was eating the pie and the cake and the cookies for Christmas and New Year's. And I was getting away with it. And then I don't know what happened. I think I got pizza or something. I don't know. It was just like I wasn't dieting for the week, right? I was like a little bit like I should be with Daria in Turkey, but she doesn't have her passport. So I was really kind of like, so I was eating for the hell of it and still working out and everything. But my foot flared up yesterday and then today. And so it's like, okay, let's do a big fast and get all the Christmas foods that we got in us out of it. Bobby, yeah, I'm tempted to take Washington money line for the value, but most likely won't pull the trigger unless I can find an NFL team to tie them with. But have not seen the NFL lines yet. Yeah, I went through them, but I'll go through them again. Okay, Greg and John, now you're vampiring a little bit. So here's what I gave out as the free pick. Take the Lions and LA over with Washington over, or Washington and 10.5. Either one. Washington 10.5, Washington over, and then play it with the Detroit Ram game over. That's a good over. So anyway, I was watching this Bitcoin thing, and it goes through that's a Ponzi scheme. And Alex keeps going up with, I made money on it. And then he makes this comment that he's 100% incorrect with, which is one day blockchain tech will help us out. Not yet. Oh, yeah, what, in 20 years? It's used all over the world, makes no sense. And then he said it'll never go to zero. Bitcoin will be one of the cryptocurrencies that will last. It's too widely used to move money around. What does that mean? You can't use it to buy things. It's not moving money. It's not money. It's an investment. So it's like saying I can sell my Mahomes card anywhere. Well, yeah, we got eBay, but at least I have the Mahomes card. The problem he's missing is the dollar's going to zero, which means Bitcoin goes to zero because Bitcoin's priced in dollars. It's not priced in Bitcoin because it isn't any. It's not real. It's just a high risk investment. It is not real money. It is certainly not gold. It's certainly just a Ponzi scheme. So if you think that's used all over the world or it'll never go to zero, you're out of your mind. When gold goes to zero, when the dollar goes to zero, Bitcoin goes to zero. But what saves us, like our house goes to zero, right? So Bobby's house is going to go to zero in dollars. Then it gets priced in gold. Bitcoin ain't getting priced in gold. So let's go through the NFL lines. He's just like Luke, worried about the price again. You have to trust it, Greg. You can't be worried. Okay, so here's the lines. First game, Cleveland 344 to Houston, in Houston. Kansas City 444 to Miami in Kansas City. Buffalo 1040 to Pittsburgh. Dallas is 750 to Green Bay. Detroit is 351 to the Rams. And Philadelphia somehow is favored over Tampa. Philly 3-44. How the fuck is Philly favored over anybody? And then so that's your lines. The most easy is the Detroit over 45 is a joke. The Rams will light them up because the Lions secondary, again, Jefferson got over 200 yards in both games. And CD Lamb still catching. He had like 280, 300 yards against them. And the Bears, DJ Moore had a bunch, and the Packers beat them, and New Orleans, Olave had a lot. So everybody's gaining a lot of yards on the Lions secondary. And what was the score yesterday? So it was 30-20. You gave up 20 points to Mullins. I mean, unbelievable. No, it's not Greg. It's Alex thinking Bitcoin won't go to zero. And I'm saying everything goes to zero because its value in dollars goes out. But you got to understand economics. Alex doesn't understand economics. He got lucky in Bitcoin, but he didn't even know what he did. He said, I bought it like a stock. Is it a stock or is it money? So really that was the conversation is Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. And they're just trying to get you into it, and everybody in it's gonna go to zero. It will go to zero. If the dollar dies or not, it will go to zero because it isn't anything. It's not real. And as people need money, so what's going to happen is, right, you got this big depression coming, high inflation. So let's say your Bitcoin's worth 40 grand, but wait a minute, 40 grand doesn't buy you, it's the same as having, what do we say, having 300 grand in the banks, really like you have 3 grand. So Bitcoin at 40,000 is it's worth like 4,000. But of course, they don't understand that because they don't understand inflation. And if you're really in it as an investment, why aren't you in gold, which can't go down and is going to go through the roof? Bitcoin, you don't even know why it goes up and down. I don't know that it's an auction. I don't know if we all bought it, it would go up, or if we all sold it, it would go down. How is the price determined? Nobody knows. No, Bobby's too smart to have Bitcoin. Bobby's a gold man, gold and silver. Well, so you saw, I showed you Egon, right, Bobby Bo? I showed you my Egon from a couple of days ago.
So that's the
I showed you that, Egon. I think I did. I think you were here. See, why are you in Bitcoin and not in gold? Let's analyze that. Well, gold doesn't go up enough, so I'm going to be in Bitcoin, something that I don't know what it is. It's not real. It's an electronic thing. Oh, wait, but they use blockchain. Big fucking deal. What is that? And so therefore, I can make a lot more money in Bitcoin than I can in gold. That's the stupidest argument I've ever heard, because it's JP Morgan keeping the price down, and that's going to blow up on when BRICS blows it up. You're going to make a lot more money on gold with no risk than you can at Bitcoin, because the risk is huge and it's priced in dollars. So dollar goes to zero. What's Bitcoin's value? Zero. How does Bitcoin, get a value? But gold don't need dollars. Gold is gold. It's its own currency. Gold, as the dollar goes to zero, does not go to zero. It doesn't get priced in gold. Gold will buy a house. When the dollar goes out, gold goes way up, not down, not to zero like Bitcoin will. But they don't understand inflation. They don't understand the dollar. They're in some weird. They're convincing themselves that Bitcoin's good, but it's all a Ponzi scheme, because they come out and do stuff and buy stuff and then present it out there. Like Tom Brady bought this, what was it, a painting or a virtual painting for $1 million. Yeah, okay. I got some swampland here you want to buy in Michigan. They're really not buying it. Like I said, it's like Bobby buying my Canadian club. Well, no, my Mahomes card for $50,000. He buys it for 50, which now makes this look like it's worth 50. And then behind the scenes, I'm giving it money back to him. Don't worry, Bobby. It's really not, here it is. But it looks like this card's worth 50. And that's what they're doing with all these little offshoots of Bitcoin and all this other shit. So Bitcoin looks like it has a value. It doesn't. The fact it's all around the world, it's a fucking, it's a data thing. I mean, it's part of a computer. What do you mean it's all over the world? And where are you going to spend it? Who takes it? Nobody takes it. Nobody would in their right mind would take it, because you don't know what the value is, and you don't want to hold Bitcoin that's worthless. So anyway. So you did see the Egon one, right, Bobby? You saw Egon, Von Egon? And Mark McGuire, I don't think was on. I never saw him on Friday. Anyway, so that's what I was doing this morning. I'll do that on YouTube, looking for gold. I was going through some and making them, thumbs down, and then I got to this one. Normally, I don't waste time with Bitcoin. I know it's a Ponzi scheme already, so there's nothing to watch. But this guy was kind of like explaining it, so I kind of got into it. I said I'll watch 5 minutes, but he was explaining what it is, and if you watch this video, you'll never buy it again. And see, people want to say, "Oh, look at me." People want to not admit they're wrong. Why aren't you buying gold? Do you understand the dollar is going out? Why do you buy Bitcoin? Because it's going to go up. Based on what? How do you buy something you can't explain how it goes up? I just don't understand it. It's like it's like the Madoff thing. My brother-in-law got stuck in Madoff, and he asked me about it, and I told him I wouldn't buy it. If everything's getting 5% and you're getting 15, it's impossible. Life doesn't work that way. If you can only get 5% and somebody gives you 15, run, because it's not real. And it was a Ponzi scheme. I heard it and I just laughed. Said, well, you just lost all your money. Do I think Penix is a top 10 pick? Absolutely. Him and Bo Nix. I'm a little worried about Caleb now. And Hartman and Daniels from LSU, I think, are the top 4 quarterbacks. I don't know why people like Derek May. I think that's absolutely. How do you like Derek May over Daniels from LSU, Bo Nix, and Penix? What are you on drugs? What the fuck would you possibly see in Drake May that would make you want him over these guys? I mean, Penix proved it. He beat Oregon twice in Texas. He proved it. You're the man. You've got it. I don't see how in the world. What did Drake May prove? Who did he beat? He didn't even beat Clemson. I mean, they didn't win any game. You base the quarterback on whether they win. That's why I don't understand the Giants with this Daniel Jones. What did he ever do? He played at Duke. He was when they picked him in the first round, I couldn't believe it. It's a waste. And he didn't beat anybody, and he's looking good on the Giants now. Anyway, so what I'm trying to keep you out of is really risky investments. You don't need it. You got gold and silver. There is no need to be in risky investments. What's the point? Why would you be in a risky investment? There's no reason. When you get into investments, you analyze risk of 4 or 5. Like if I was going to buy a stock, I'd look at 4 or 5 different stocks to buy. What industry? I would stay out of the autos because the interest rates are high. So I'd go into Coca-Cola or Nestle's or some chocolate now because they're cheap. People will buy them. And that's where the rest of the market should go, not into Tesla. Who's buying a $100,000 electric car? Who's buying an electric car? Nobody's buying cars now. It's too expensive. Interest rates are too high. TK, thank you, Greg John. Yeah. If you're watching, that's it does. I can go to see, but how I do everything is I ask the question. So I asked I got a master's in economics and finance, but I asked the question, why is gold 2,000? Because I know if you inflate the money's worthless. That's what I learned in school. All the other things go up. Oreos, Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, I saw $3.59 at my meat grocery store. It's a more expensive grocery store, but $3.59? Are you? So now it's $3 for a Coke for a 2-liter. So why isn't gold going up? If the dollar's losing value and food prices are going up, that means all the price, because it'll cost you more because the dollar's worth less. Why isn't gold going up? So you ask that question, which draws you into everything else. Oh, it's paper gold. Oh, it's COMEX. Oh, there is no price for physical gold. Well, then physical gold must be really expensive because the paper gold, which is bullshit, is $2,000-$2,100. Obviously, the physical is worth a lot more. So then the same thing with doctors. I had high blood pressure and everything. And I went to a doctor and he said, well, you got diabetes. There's nothing you can do. I go, well, what is diabetes? And then I understood it to be high blood sugar. Oh, well, if I have high blood sugar, can I get it down? Maybe I stop eating sugar, which is what I tell you, and it'll go down, which is exactly what I did. And to do that, you fast and you don't eat sugar and you don't eat carbs. So I find the guy on YouTube, our doctor, and he explains it. So that's the way life is. You ask questions. When things don't make sense, you ask questions and then you dig into finding the answer. And when you find the answer, you understand it very well. That's why I understand gold and economics very well. I ask the questions and I learn. And now I know it. I didn't learn it. I know it. And so, when you ask me gold questions, That's a no-brainer. But that's what Bitcoin is. See, I don't even listen to Bitcoin. Why would I want to be in Bitcoin when gold's about to explode and I have no risk in gold and I know why it goes up because the demand for gold, and I know that JP Morgan COMEX keeps the price down, and the question is, are they going to be able to keep the price down? And the answer is absolutely not, because BRICS and everybody else wants gold and they have it all, and they're about to just lay it to the US and have a gold-backed currency, and the US can't compete with it. So all that's coming. So gold's the best play with no risk. And COMEX can fuck around with it for a little bit, but eventually they can't because of the competition from Russia, China. And so you ask the questions, you start getting the answers. And then it's just, what other questions do you have? So health, finance and economics, but then investing. Bitcoin is just an investment, and it's a strange investment in the fact it's not even real. There's nothing real about it. You don't get a coin. I get a Mahomes card. I got the card, right? I got gold. I got the gold. You get Bitcoin. What do you get? You get nothing. Who wants to invest in something? And Bobby can back me up on this. We sit there and play with our gold and silver, right? You take it out and look at all the gold I got, look at all the silver, and you enjoy that you have it. Just like I have the cards that I have, you enjoy. Oh, look at it, and these are nice cards. Bitcoin, I don't have anything. Oh, I'm buying it because I'm going to, I'll make money on it. Why are you going to make money on it? Do you know how you're going to make money on it? No, but I'm going to. Which is what Alex is trying to tell us. Oh, I bought 5 coins and I made money. Did he? I don't know. Did you know why? No. He said he bought it like a stock. Why don't you just buy stocks? Stocks, you understand how it goes up. Sales increase, they go up. Sales decrease, they go down. But you can't explain Bitcoin. So the point is, you want to be in investments. Why do you want to be in investment? You want to make money. You have money, but you got the money in the bank. There's no interest. Okay, I got 50 grand. What am I going to do with it? Well, I want to use the 50 to make money. So it's simple of, well, where do I put it? Stocks and bonds and real estate trusts, gold and silver. Well, gold and silver doesn't move. That's not the point of gold and silver, but it does move and it will move. Stocks are going to get hit. Bonds are going to get hit. Banks are going to get hit. So everything else is going to go down. The gold will go up. But, regardless, you want to have an investment that you make money on, which that's the whole point. Where do I put my 50? It's the same thing when we bet our football. Where do we make our bets? Right? Who do we bet on? All right, let's take Dallas. They have to win. All right, we'll bet on Dallas. And that's what you're trying to do, is figure out, okay, I got 16 games here. Who do I bet on? And you're looking at the best bets to bet your money and invest. So you can invest in football bets. You can invest in poker or craps or at the casino. It's a high risk investment and not necessarily high reward. You can buy stocks, again, high risk because of the economy and the politics in the other countries. You can buy real estate trusts and hope you don't get the same guy as Attack on Wall Street guy who lost his 60,000. So you hope that doesn't happen to you. And that's really what you're looking for. What do I do with my money to make more money? Because you think the goal is to make more money. I'm not even sure that is, but sometimes the goal is to not lose money. And as we come into the cycle and everything's going to get killed, now your thinking is, I don't want to lose. You don't realize your money in the bank's losing. That's the first thing that nobody realizes. So you're already losing money by leaving it in the bank. That's the problem. because these idiots are printing money, the value's dropping. You're losing money by not doing anything in the bank. That's the biggest problem. So forget if you put it in bonds or CDs or real estate trust or go to the casino. All those are risky and you're probably going to lose, but you're not going to lose in gold and silver. So we found the golden goose, the gold. Bitcoin, how are you comfortably thinking? So do you got $46,000? I think that's what Alex said. It's worth 46,000. So do you have 46,000 to buy a Bitcoin? So if you have, let's say you have 50,000, would you buy a Bitcoin or would you buy 25 ounces of gold? What would you rather have? Is your Bitcoin going to go up or go to zero? Could just as easily go to zero. Because as the problems start hitting, people will be selling their Bitcoin. So let's fast forward. We're in a big depression. Businesses are going under. The dollar's worthless. You need money. Okay, you're going to sell your stocks. You're going to sell your Bitcoin. What's going to happen to Bitcoin? The price is going to drop. Are people going to go into Bitcoin? No. People sell their stock. People sell. When you need money, you sell your assets. So you're going to sell your Bitcoin before you buy more, which is going to lower the price because we don't really know how the price is derived. Let's assume it's supply and demand, but you can't even assume that. I don't even know where that is. Bobby Bo. Yeah, that's a fucking joke. TK, I got leg. What's leg? LAG? I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's a fucking joke. Jalen Daniels plays great this past year and way better than Drake May. Oh, we're talking about that. Yeah, I don't understand this Drake May thing. I could see if you had like, Caleb, okay. Caleb and Drake May, they're not even close to Daniels and Bo Nix and Penix and Hartman. Sorry. USC played a bowl game against a pretty good defensive team, and some guy we never heard of, a four-stringer, throws 6 touchdown passes. And you want me to believe that Caleb is this good? When it appears that anybody could walk out there and throw 6 touchdown passes. May is not good at all, in my opinion. I agree with you, Bobby. Who did North Carolina beat? He's another Trubisky, exactly. Bobby Bo card is worthless. Don't say that. Now you're vampiring again, Greg and John. Why would you say that? What is the value of that comment? Hurting Bobby Bo's feeling. This card is worth a ton. Who are you kidding, Greg and John? It's not worthless. It's just not worth what Mahomes is worth. It still has a value. Bobby's got some cards that are worth $1,500. But he's competing with Mahomes. And more people like Mahomes than Bobby Bo. It's unfortunate. But this is the problem in the league. They'll draft the guy. Well, it's like drafting Steve Young this year for Carolina. How did that work? They shouldn't have won any games. They somehow won 2. And you're vampiring again, Greg and John. They got 2 wins somehow. They would have the first pick, but that apparently, because of DJ Moore, goes to the Bears. I'm not even sure I understand that. So they got the number 1 pick from the Bears last year, and then the Bears get the number 1 pick because they suck. So you gave up DJ Moore. You got a quarterback who sucks. And now you don't even have the number 1 pick because you traded it to the Bears. Now, if the Bears are smart, they got to get rid of Fields. He's a good backup somewhere, probably at Ohio State. But yeah, well, this is the problem. I mean, look at these guys, and here's Even Trevor Lawrence sucks. But you got Hurts. He's showing you how good he is, right? Heineken, what the fuck is Heineken doing in the league? Derek Carr, okay. You got a guy named Stick on San Diego. In Kansas City, used Blaine Gabbert. What are these guys doing in the league? These guys aren't professional quarterbacks. These guys suck. They didn't choke. They're not good. Choking is a good team, doesn't play up to their ability. Jacksonville's not a good team. Trevor Lawrence is not a good quarterback. Sorry. I didn't like him at Clemson. I don't like him here. He doesn't do anything. Somehow San Diego let him off the hook, which I don't understand. After his 4 interceptions, San Diego decides not to play. San Diego is the most wasted franchise because you've got all these good players. You got Herbert and Keenan Allen and Eckler and Kelly from UCLA, and then you got all this defense, Boza and James and Khalil Mack, and you win 5 games with that talent. Holy fuck. The Bears won more with Fields. Are you kidding me? Wow. And the Bears coach sucks. He should be fired. But it's the same thing. It's okay, Washington, they're going to fire Rivera. Why did they hire him? He sucked at Carolina. He's not a good coach. You bring him on, he looks like shit. And then who are they gonna get? They'll get one of these offensive guys from the Kyle Shanahan tree. I saw that yesterday. I was ready to throw up. So all these guys, the Green Bay coach and the Miami coach, all were assistants to the father Shanahan. So you have the father Shanahan, and you have all these guys who basically are taking what the father Shanahan, the Ram guy, the 49er coach, and the Miami coaching agreement, and they're all doing the same thing, that they don't know what they're doing. They just learned it from Mike Shanahan. And they get into these games. They don't understand defense. They don't understand play calling. They want to go for it on 4th down. These guys are all idiots. So is that what you're going to do? Is you're going to draft another Shanahan guy, the assistant to the assistant towel boy, like the Miami guy? Who is the best coach right now? I would say Coach Pete and Sean Payton. I think those two are the best coaches. There's not a lot of good coaches out there. I would not say the Niner coach is good. The Rams, he won his Super Bowl. He's okay. I don't like Tomlin. He hasn't done anything. And I hate Harbaugh at Baltimore. He's terrible. Wow. He's just lucky he got the Georgia offensive coordinator, so they score a lot. So anyway, Washington 37, Michigan 31 tonight. And if you want, play them with the Lions. LA over 51 down to 45 as an over. That's your free pick for this week in the playoffs. This will be interesting. Stafford going to Detroit. He's going to pick them apart. He's good for 30 because the Lions have no secondary. This will be very interesting. Because Goff will show his true colors. He's a choke. And he choked. That's why the Rams let him go. They shouldn't have drafted him, because in the Pac-10 championship game, he threw 5 interceptions at Utah. He's a choke. He didn't win the game. That's what you're looking for in a quarterback. You don't want, he can throw a lot, like Tagliabue. Yeah, he's good until he gets into a good game against a good team and he doesn't show up. Where was he yesterday? Anyway, so that's your pick. Washington 37-31. Detroit, LA over is your free teaser. Again, stay away from these strange investments. Bitcoin, this whole crypto is just a Ponzi scheme. They just look for ways of, it's not regulated. Not that it needs to be regulated. It's just they're looking for ways to scam you out of your money. The whole thing is a scam because it's digital. Digital doesn't work. It only works when you hold it. If I have the card, if I have the gold, then I'm fine. Otherwise, you're fucked. That's why you don't play a gold IRA or a gold ETF. You don't own the gold, you're going to get fucked. You're going to own an ETF thinking you got 10, 20 ounces of gold. You don't have any, and you'll never get it because there isn't any. It doesn't exist. It's a Ponzi scheme, these ETF guys. Stay away from that. But the whole Wall Street thing, the whole thing's everything to do with paper is a Ponzi scheme. Stocks, bonds, the banking system. It's all a Ponzi scheme because they just print the money and it doesn't have value. TK, the mafia owns the country. The mafia owns the world. We've known that. Hitler was mafia. That's why he did what he just World War II is about was him stealing gold. So yeah, we know the banks, the mafia runs the banks run the governments. That's why every country's in the same situation. They all have paper money and not gold because they can print it. So the mafia is printing money everywhere. They just run the printing machines. Oh, print me $1 million. Oh, this is the easiest job in the world. I mean, think about it. You don't have to work. Just print $1 million. Okay. Tax free. Nobody knows you got it. It's perfect. What they don't realize is you can't keep doing it. It will go to zero. But that's the problem with paper. If you don't back it by gold, you're going to invite the mafia in and they're going to print it and they're going to ruin it because that's what always happens. That's the problem with it. They always ruin it. And it's really sad, unfortunate, but that's what happens. So that's why, see, they can't fuck you with gold. From our standpoint, we want to be in gold because they can't fuck you. They can't take it. They can't say it's worth zero. They can keep the price down for a while, but it's about to blow up because of bricks. And if you really don't know, Putin has 32,000 tons of it. So if there's nothing else that you can learn, just learn that fact. Putin has 32,000 tons of gold. Maybe it's a good idea to own gold. How much Bitcoin do you think Putin has? Probably none. If it is, I'm sure he's the one controlling it. I'm sure the Russians control Bitcoin. So you want to be in with the Russians? Makes no sense. So poor Alex, he's going to get bankrupt if he has Bitcoin. Yeah, even Caleb got exposed barely against Notre Dame and a couple other games. Well, not only that, Caleb got exposed, but, not only did he get exposed, you can even see it's more the system when Joe Miller comes in and throws 6 touchdowns versus Louisville in the bowl game. Now you're going, wait a minute. I thought Caleb was that good, but Joe Miller comes in and throws 6 touchdowns. Maybe it's just the system. Maybe Caleb isn't that good. Maybe he's just in a system where anybody can come in and throw 6 touchdowns. That's really what the problem is, and that's why I don't like the Alabama and Ohio State quarterbacks. It's the same system. They're running a system where they look good, and anybody can come in and do it. That's why I don't like the C.J. Stroud or Fields or Steve Young or Mac Jones or any of those guys because it's a system. They have fast guys that run down the field and they throw it to them. Big whippy. Problem is in the pros, you don't get that. Problem is in the pros, you got to read a blitz and they don't teach them that. Bobby Bo, he did great against bad teams though and still a great athlete, but not as sure about him now as an NFL quarterback. Greg, you need to invest in a Bobby Bo card. There you go, Bobby Bo. Get the price up. So if he buys them, maybe he should sell it for like 20 grand to Greg and John to get your price up, Bobby. Caleb is another Fields. Maybe. We'll find out. Greg needs to go buy medals and a Bobby Bo card instead he's vampiring. Yeah, This is Bobby's rookie card, but it's not worth anything. But he's got like an insert card on a glossy. It's like a Score or Flair glossy card that's worth $1,500, but it's got to be PSA 10. But that's the whole thing. You're trying to invest your money and you don't know what to do with it because you're not trained. You're not in finance and economics. I am. And believe me, if you don't trust anybody and you don't want to go to a stockbroker or financial planner because you know they're full of shit and all they want to do is get commission on you, or this retirement planning guys are a bunch of jokes, just do what I do. I'm in finance and I buy gold. I wouldn't buy gold if it's a bad investment. I've got the experience, just like football. If you bet what I bet and you see my results, I know what I'm doing, and that's really the key to it. So same thing with the diet, same thing with the women, same thing with poker. You figure it out, and that's what you do. So you learn from somebody who's figured it out, who knows what they're doing, who does it. So if I'm telling you to buy gold and I don't buy it, then I'm a fucking idiot and I wouldn't listen to me. But I do buy gold. I do tell you to buy gold and silver, and I own a bunch. So I am backing it up, telling you what I do and showing you. I show you the gold I buy and the silver. So from that standpoint, if you don't know anything, just do what I do, because I'm not going to do anything stupid, right? I'm the professor. I'm not selling you. I'm not trying to sell you. I don't make any money. There's nothing comes to me if you buy gold and silver. I'm not a broker. I'm not a salesman. I'm an economist, right? So I'm telling you to buy it. I don't make a nickel. All that I do is save you. So if you get out of your money and buy gold and silver, you'll make a fortune because it's about to go through the roof. But we know why. It's because of BRICS. You can't tell me why Bitcoin's going up. And that's the whole point. So we understand gold and silver really well. You can't print it. And if you can't print it, it'll never go down in value. But we don't know why Bitcoin does. It's not money. It's priced in dollars. It's not used anywhere. I can go to my coin shop, give them an ounce of gold. They'll give me $2,100 basically. I don't know where you're going to sell your Bitcoin. I don't even know how it works, but that's the problem. If I do need money, I have an asset that will give it to me until it's priced in gold, and then I don't need an asset. Then I have the money, and it's about to go up. So that's why it's such a no-brainer. Greg needs to buy metals. Yeah, I know, TK. Okay. So that's why gold and silver. And really, I know we all try to help our families and friends and tell them about it, and they don't believe us because they're all clueless and they're all sheep. So try to tell a sheep to buy gold. They don't know anything. So all you can do is explain how you can't inflate gold, but the dollar's being inflated, which they won't understand. To say you can't inflate the supply and print it. You can't do that to gold. That's why it's a perfect, it's not really an investment. It's a perfect thing to buy. It protects you, and then it's going to go up in value, and it can't go down. So I don't know what you're looking for. Yeah, you're greedy in Bitcoin, and you know what happens with that? You'll end up losing everything. Bitcoin will go to zero probably very soon. Once this recession, well, it's already here, but once people start losing their value, they're going to need money. And as the stock market crashes, so wait a minute, Bitcoin won't go to zero, but the stock market will. Does that make any sense to anybody? So when you're doing that, the the stock market's going to crash. You're going to need money. You're going to sell your Bitcoin. You don't want to sell your gold. You're going to sell your stocks. Stock market's crashing. You sell your stocks, and it's a frenzy. And then if you have Bitcoin, you'll sell it, which will knock the price down. But with gold, nobody's selling it. I ain't selling it till I see a 50 with 3 zeros after it. And I'm very confident that's what I'm going to see. Anyway, keep in mind the inflation and the debt, and it's all about to go out. Anyway, enjoy the game tonight. I think it's on ESPN. So I don't know why they want to lose half their viewership who doesn't have ESPN like me. I mean, that's why you show it on ABC and NBC. Those are channels everybody gets. All right. Well, I am fasting, so I'm like tired. And I want to eat badly, but I got to get my foot back. I'm so pissed my foot's bothering me again. Anyway, have a good day. www.teaserking.com. $100 for all the bowls. I gave you the game tonight. So again, Washington 37-31 over Michigan. At least. I don't know if it'll be that close. They could win by 20 because once Penix gets rolling, Michigan's going to do what? Run? Their quarterback's terrible. All right. So have a nice day. Tomorrow, probably the same time. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go to the pool. I might see if I can limp there now just to soak my foot in a hot tub would be nice. And again, I'm not eating, so that's really tough. I need more water and tea. I can see that. All right, everybody. Have a good day. www.teaserking.com. Go Washington. All right. Take care. I'll talk to you tomorrow.